Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject that is data visualization 3160717. In that, we want to study the module 3 that is visualizing data programmatically. So, what is there in the syllabus of this chapter is we are having HTML5 canvas charts that we have already seen, right? Then, after, what do we want to know is the Google chart, right? This is what we want to learn in this particular module. Let's see canvas chart. HTML5 canvas chart. In the previous lecture only we have seen that. Just recall, we have to download the canvas.js.mean.js from and keep the same in the same directory where your HTML code is there. And the link for that is this one. Now, what do we write for the code to create the column chart? For that, we know that we have to use say doc type HTML. HTML tag start, head tag start, then script type is equal to text slash JavaScript. Window.onload, that is on loading of this particular window we are having the function that is what we are having inside it, that is variable chart is equal to new canvas.js dot chart. What we want to display, that is chart container, right? Now, what is the title of it? The text which we want to display, that is try various chart types. Now we should provide the data, and data for that will be providing the x and y coordinates. First of all, for data, what we need to provide, that is type is column. If we want to try any other type of canvas chart, we just have to change this column to bar or line or area or pie, etc. So, with the same code, we will be able to have different types of charts. Here the data is given, how the data points are given, that is using x and y coordinates, right? In a pair it is given, we can say x colon 10 comma y colon 71, x colon 20 comma y colon 55, x colon 30 comma y colon 50. This way we are giving the x and y coordinates. With that we are providing the data. Now chart dot render, then after and script. Then what do we want to have? That is script type text slash JavaScript. Source is equal to canvas.js dot mean dot js, that is for creating the chart using canvas, whichever JavaScript we are using, that we are putting in the same directory, or otherwise we have to specify the proper path. Fine. And script and head, body is starting, div id is chart container. What is this chart container? What we have specified here, that is while creating the chart object using canvas.js dot chart, right? Whatever we have specified, that only we are keeping here for div id is equal to chart container. Style, whatever style we want to provide, we can say here, that is height 300 px, width 100 percentage, and div and body, right? And html. So what we can get with that is, we can say that column chart, right? Column chart is there. We can see that very nicely here, isn't it? Now, if we want to have, say, bar chart, line chart, area chart with this code, what changes we have to do is, only thing is type column colon, instead of that we'll be writing it as bar, line, area, pi, right? Instead of column, we'll be writing it as any of this, and we can get the different types of charts that we have already seen in the previous lecture, right? Now, the next thing which we want to learn is linear interpolation. What does that mean? We can say that it can guess intermediate points between 2 points, that is the interpolation. Interpolation is a statistical method by which related known values are used to estimate an unknown price or potential yield of a security. Interpolation is achieved by using other established values that are located in sequence with the unknown value. So, what are the examples of the interpolation? We can say the easiest interpolation is a linear interpolation. This type of interpolation is useful if one is trying to estimate the value of a security or interest rate for a point at which there is no data. The code equation is used to work out the next point of interpolation, that is n is equal to start plus n minus start multiplied by speed. Let's see the example. We can have the idea, right? What we are learning is linear interpolation, right? Okay. So what we are having is doc type HTML. Typically it is used as the capital letters, right? So we can write it this way: doc type as HTML. HTML language is equal to EN, that is English. Body, div style is equal to position absolute, top 50x, 50x, 50px. Colon, no, semicolon, left colon 50px, right? Canvas ID is equal to canvas, width is equal to 500 and height is equal to 500. And we'll be writing it as your browser does not support the HTML5 canvas. If it is not supporting, then this particular text will be displayed. Fine. And canvas. Now, script type is equal to text slash JavaScript let ELE. We want to get the canvas ID, that is using document.getElement by ID, that is canvas. Then context we want to get, so let ctx is equal to ELE dot get context of 2D. Let start x is equal to 10. Let start y is equal to 10. Let end x is equal to ELE width minus 50. We are sitting, what is the start coordinate, what is the end coordinate of x and y, right? So we can say that for end x we are saying that width minus 50. Then let x is equal to start x, let y is equal to start y. Let duration is equal to 0. Let width is equal to height is equal to 50. Now, we are having the function that is LERP, linear interpolation, right? So, function LERP, start, end, and speed. We have already seen the equation for linear interpolation. So what was that? That was start plus and minus start multiplied by speed, right? And those parameters we are already passing to this function, right? Now the logic. What is the logic for that? That is duration plus equal to 0.02 x is equal to lerp, that is this function we are calling start x comma end x comma duration. If x is less than ele dot width minus width request animation frame draw, right? Request animation frame and draw, right? What do we want is, what we are doing is we want to have linear interpolation, right? And whenever the x is less than the element width minus whatever is the width, if it is less than this difference, then we are requesting the animation frame, right? And what do we do is we are calling the draw, right? What we are doing is we are calling the draw. That draw function is available here, that is ctx dot clear rectangle. See, whenever we want to have the animation, what is the basics of animation is, first of all you clear the window, then after you draw something, again you clear the window, and then you can say that you are redrawing at any other position. So what effect we can see is, we are seeing the object whatever is there is moving, right? There is the animation we will be able to see. So for that what we do is ctx plus clear rectangle, that is clear rect 0 0 ele dot width comma ele dot height, ctx dot fill style with what we want to fill, that is the fill color we are providing. Then after ctx dot fill rect, that is we want to fill a particular rectangle whose specifications are given as x y, and the width and height they are the 50 comma 50, right? After that we can say we are having a request animation frame and draw. What it will do is it will call this draw function again, right? It will call the draw function again. Then what we are doing is set interval logic, then 1000 divided by 60. See, this can be any number, right? But what is logic? That is this function. That is this function, right? In logic what we are doing is we are incrementing the duration, fine? And what we are doing is we are having request animation frame draw, so we are again calling the draw function, fine? We are again calling the draw function. So the parameters are being changed, that is increased or decreased, we can say. Here what we are doing is, here we are increasing only, right? Now whatever is getting increased, for that we are calling the draw function, right? So whatever is there in the draw function, what is there? That is clear rectangle, then we are setting the fill style, then after we are filling the rectangle, fine? So for the new position we'll be able to see the rectangle again and again. It is getting clear display. So what effect we get is, it is animated, right? So let's copy this code and we can say let's run this, right? So I'm copying in front of you only, right? We are using the Bluefish editor, so let me put it here. This is the doc type which we have already seen, right? What we are learning is linear interpolation, fine? Now our script is there, which is specifying x and y of our coordinates, right? Then after we can say what we are having is we are having the function, that is linear interpolation, and the logic. Then after we do have the draw function. Okay. Now putting it all together, that is for linear interpolation. Let me put it here. Say LERP dot HTML. Here it is. We can say it is LERP dot HTML. Okay. Let us see that in the browser. See, you can see that it is interpolating, right? From the start end to end, and we are passing the object, that is our rectangle, which is filled rectangle, right? So that we are moving from one place to other. Animation, through the animation we are able to see that, right? And what is the basic of animation? That is, you clear the window, you draw it, again clear the window, draw the object at the other position, right? That is the basic of the animation. And here what we are doing is we are interpolating from one position to end position. Now in between we are interpolating a particular object. Fine. Let us proceed. Now, JavaScript's request animation frame method for smooth animations. We have just seen in the example, that is request animation frame, and we are passing the function, that is typically draw, with which we'll be calling the draw again and again. Fine. Okay. So what do we say? The modern web of today is filled with sites to behold on every page, where menus slide in and out, content gently fed into view, elements animate around the screen as users cross the page. While CSS3 has supplanted JavaScript in many cases to help power this, rich animations can and intuitive. JavaScript will have a role to play in more complex scenarios that involve user interaction of nonlinear logic. It is because of this that request animation frame method was introduced. To help us execute animation related JavaScript code that makes to the user screen in an efficient, optimized manner, right? So output of interpolation, that is linear interpolation, we have just seen. Fine. Now, how do you animate canvas in HTML5? We have just seen that example. Okay, let's see that. Set up canvas by adding canvas tag into your HTML document. For example, canvas ID is equal to my canvas, width is equal to 300, height is equal to 200, and end canvas. Locate the element in your JavaScript and create a drawing object with this code. Let canvas is equal to document dot get element ID of my canvas. What is this my canvas? That is the canvas ID. After that, we need to get the context of the canvas, that is using let ctx is equal to canvas dot get context of 2D. Then draw your shapes with a method such as one of the following, that is fill style, then after say fill rect, then you can say stroke style, then after stroke rectangle, right? So using any of these methods, what we do is we draw a particular shape. So how do you animate? Now, after drawing it once, what do we require is, while drawing the shapes, you can save your canvas state to create frames for rendering according to the parameters you set with the following JavaScript methods. And they are window.setInterval, or you can say window.setTimeout, or otherwise request, that is window.request animation frame. In the previous example, we have seen the request animation frame, right? So, as I already told you, what is the chill animation? It is the drawing and animating on canvas, which includes basically two steps. One is draw, second is clear, right? Repeatedly we are doing that, drawing, clearing, right? And position we are changing, so we'll be able to see the object as animated one, right? So let's see the example of animation wherein we are having this circle animation. So what do we want to show here is that the circle is there. It is say smaller one. From that it is getting bigger. Then again from bigger it is going to get small shape. Right? So for that, let's say that what is the code available with us? Doc type HTML, then HTML, then after head, then title, right? Now comes is style. For style, we can say for canvas, the border is 3 point, that is 3 pixels. And what is the color? That is, we can say triple C and solid, right? Solid. We fill that with solid color, right? Then and style, head, body, div id is container, canvas id is equal to my canvas, height is equal to 450 and width is equal to 450, right? Now script language is equal to JavaScript, main canvas, that is equal to document.query selector hash my canvas, variable main context, that is equal to main canvas dot get context. This is what we are doing till now. Then we are having two variables to specify the canvas width and height. There is variable canvas width is equal to main canvas dot width, canvas height is equal to main canvas dot height. Now say we are having the angle is equal to 0. Why do we want to have? Because we want to draw a circle, right? So circle will be starting from 0 to 2, 0 to 360, right? So angle every time we are changing and we'll be able to see the effect of animation. So what do we do is say variable request animation frame, that is equal to window dot request animation frame, or otherwise any other type of animation frame is there. Now what we do is we are drawing the circle. So what do we do is we are clearing the rectangle. We are clearing the rectangle. You can say you want to draw the circle and you are clearing the rectangle. That is for our canvas, right? For our canvas, we want to clear the canvas. So for that, we can say main context dot clear rect 0 comma 0 and canvas width comma canvas height. So we are clearing the canvas. After that, we are setting the gray color background, that is using main context dot fill style. That is the color we are setting. It is gray color. Then after main context dot fill rectangle 0 comma 0 comma canvas width comma canvas height. So we are filling the rectangle with what we can say is canvas width and canvas height, right? Fill style we have already said. Fine. There is this one. Then after, draw the circle. So for that, first of all, we are starting the begin path. We can say we are starting the path. So that is using main context dot begin path. Then after, say what do we want is, we want to have increment in the radius, right? We want say from bigger circle to small circle and small circle to bigger circle. That's what we want to show, right? So for that, we are changing the angle of our equation, right? We are changing the angle of our circle. Okay. Now, horizontal parameter position, these are the arc parameters. Horizontal center parameter, vertical center parameter, radius, start angle and end angle, right? Now, what do we do is, we are drawing the arc, that is we are drawing the circle, that is using say 2 to 5, 2 to 5, that is x and y. The radius we are specifying, then starting angle is 0, ending angle is mat dot pi multiplied by 2. Then after we can say false. False is for counterclockwise. Fine. Now after that, what do we do is, we are closing the path, that is using main context dot close path. Then after we can say we are having main context dot fill style and main context dot fill, right? Now we are changing the angle, that is using angle plus equal to mat dot pi divided by 64. We are redrawing. How we can redrawing, that is using request animation frame, and whatever draw circle function was that we will pass, right? It means it will call itself again. And this is for the first time we are calling the draw circle function. And what will be the output of it? You can see that the big circle, then small, then big, then small. That way it will display. Let's copy the code and run that so you can have the idea that it is running, right? See, I'm copying the code. It is because you can see the same thing again and you can understand that, right? So let me put it here. Pasting I'm the code for circle animation, right? So what do we do is, here I'm giving it as circle. It is going down. Let us write it here as the file name, that is circle.html, right? Now let us copy the other code, right? We are setting the request animation frame. Now we are drawing the circle. We are drawing the circle. Then after, what we are having is, we can say the arc parameters. We are drawing the circle. Then after, we can say we'll be having the draw circle, right? We are calling the draw circle, right? Let us put that here. Save it as circle animation.html, right? I have given here as circle.html only. That is also fine, right? Let us preview in the browser. Yeah, see the animation. Circle is going bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller, right? And we are able to see the animation of it, right? Let us proceed further. Rectangle example for this animation, not bigger and smaller, but we have seen that for the rectangle is passing right from start end to end, right? That's what we have seen. Where we have seen with the linear interpolation example. Fine. So now we want to study the Google chart. What is that? Here we'll be making the chart using the Google API, right? And that is what is called the Google chart. Google chart is a pure JavaScript based charting library to enable web applications by adding interactive charting capability. So Google Charts provide variety of charts. Is for example line chart, spline chart, area chart, bar chart, pie chart, and so on. Right? So what are the features of Google Chart Library? They are compatibility. It works seamlessly on all major browsers and mobile platforms like Android and iOS. It does have the multi-touch support. What do we mean by that? It supports multi-touch on the touchscreen based platforms like Android and iOS. It is ideal for iPhone or iPad and Android based smartphones or tablets. It is free to use because it is open source, lightweight. That is loader.js core library is extremely lightweight library. Simple configurations are there. That is, it uses JSON to define various configuration of the charts and very easy to learn and use. It is dynamic. That is, it allows to modify chart even after chart generation. What we are learning? We are learning the features of Google Chart Library. So what else? Multiple access. It does not consider or restricted to X and Y axis. It supports multiple access on the charts. It does have the configurable tooltips. Tooltip comes when a user hover over any point on the chart. Google Charts provide tooltip inbuilt formatter or callback formatter to control the tooltip programmatically. Date time support. It can handle date time specially, provides numerous inbuilt controls over date-wise categories. Print. Print chart using web page. External data, that is, it supports loading of data dynamically from the server, provides control over data using callback functions. Text rotation, that is, it supports rotation of labels in any direction. So how to set up the Google Chart API? That is using downloading the Google Chat API. From where do we get this? That is using https colon developers.google.com/chart, or otherwise we can say https colon double slash www.gstatic.com/charts. So what are the bar chart styles? We want to learn the bar chart, okay, column chart, and many more. So the style role lets you control several aspects of bar appearance with CSS like declarations. They are color, opacity, fill color, fill opacity, stroke color, stroke opacity, stroke width. So here is the example where we want to learn the bar chart. That's all for today. We'll learn bar chart and other things in next class.